What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Your friendly Let's Play Sonic Crash Bandicoot Part 1, or Part 2. This is the second half of the island now. I will be doing these last three levels here. As you can see, you really can't see the second one in between those little houses there. But this is right after Papu Papu that we beat the first boss. And I think I've figured out a pretty good, flow for these videos. I'm going to try to do 5 levels per video. The 5th level will always be the boss, just because that is a way you can do the game. You know, every 5 levels, every 5 levels you'll do a boss fight, and you know, it just works. I like that a lot better. Now you can see there that was a different type of token that we've got that we haven't seen before. That is called an embryo token, which will give you which will bring you to the first of 6 Brio bonus rounds. If you can get to it, you know, make sure that TNT blows up. You really don't have to worry about that if you do walk away from a TNT too far. As long as they're both starting with the countdown, they both should blow up. Oh crap! Oh wow. There was a life in the middle box. If you could have got it, I was more focused on that Brio token, however, just because, you know, it's a lot more useful than a life. And I can see here I have lost quite a few lives. If you for this game only, if you quit the game, you know, at all, and then come back to reload the game, you will lose all of your lives that you have gained. So that does kind of make it kind of difficult, but not too bad, really. You know, further on in the game, it does get a little bit harder, especially if you've tried to stockpile a whole bunch of lives for maybe the bonus rounds or something, and then you get to like the 3rd island, and then you just lose all of your lives. But it's not too it's not all that bad early on, anyway. About after Rolling Stones onwards is when you kind of want to beat the game in one go instead of having to save. You know, instead of having to quit the game over and over, just because you'll lose the lives. Now, with those striped bouncy crates, you get 10 pieces of Wumpa Fruit on them if you bounce on them 10 times. However, if you do not bounce on them 10 times repeatedly, you will lose Wumpa Fruit in the long run. I believe if you bounce on it more than 3 times and then you get off the box, it will break on the 8th bounce. You want to be careful. As you can see there is a little blue dot, meaning that we cannot get the all the boxes for this level because there is a hidden path down there, or I guess it's, yeah, a hidden path down there that we need to go to. And you can see there's the 3rd Brio token. This level's not too difficult by itself. This bonus round, however, all the Brio bonus rounds are a lot more difficult, or pretty difficult. Now, what you want to do is on all of those TNTs, you always want to hit the jump button to make yourself jump higher. Here you can either wait for the TNTs to explode, or you can just bypass it and get all these lives. You will gain 6 lives in every bonus round. They will be either like a bridge like that, or they will be just in stacks at random points around the bonus round. But you will always gain 6 lives from these bonus rounds. But they are so difficult to beat and to get through, so it's pretty difficult to actually get the 6 lives. So that's not a really good strategy to go through a level that has a Brio bonus round and then say, oh, okay, well, I'm out of lives, I'll just go and get I'll just go through a Brio bonus round, because you can play the Brio bonus rounds no matter how, you know, a whole bunch of times over and over. There is no limit to how many times you can play a Brio bonus round. The other bonus rounds that you can play, like the Tana bonus round, and there's another bonus round that I won't talk about right now, but those you can only play once. And the Tana bonus rounds are pretty easy, but the other bonus round is not so much. Once you beat, you know, if you either beat, well, the Tana bonus rounds, if you beat them or not, you cannot play them again. The other bonus rounds, you have to actually beat them and get to the end of the bonus rounds to make them locked so that you can't play them anymore. And but you know, those other bonus rounds aren't that fun anyway. The only ones that would be nice to replay are the Tana bonus rounds, just because you could gain extra lives from them. But if you are good with the Brio bonus rounds, it's not too difficult for you. So, you could just keep playing Rolling Stones over and over, and it'd be fine, because you never lose, or you just be able to keep gaining stockpiling lives from that level. But anyway, so I kind of talked over the whole Hog Wild there. It isn't too difficult of a level. The pig, you cannot stop him, or you cannot slow him down. All you can do is just move left and right. The thing is that some of those boxes require timing. You have to kind of just barely tap them to be able to get them if they're on one side of the path or the other, to be able to get to a lot of them. And that last shield-wielding native can trip you up. You always have to make sure that you hang on to the right side of the path to be able to make it and not die. But it's not too difficult. There will be a second hog riding level later on that will be a little bit more difficult, but thankfully we won't have to do that one just yet. As you saw, there is no masks in that level, so you do want to be careful, especially if you have golden masks and you go to a level like this. Obviously, if you're playing the game on a brand new save file, you can't skip levels, but if you're just playing the game and you have all of the levels unlocked, you do want to be careful about the order in which you do the levels. But anyway, yeah, not too difficult, just the timing with the boxes, but they're not too difficult in that level. Later on, they will be pretty bad. But anyway, so you can see here is a second gate-themed level, and this one is definitely a lot harder than the Great Gate. It's got a lot more traps in it, a lot more of these spiked pillars, a lot more of the flame, the torches, the bouncy torches, or I guess the flaming pads, whatever you want to call them. A lot more turtles, a lot more man-eating plants, just different things that can trip you up. A lot of these shield-wielding natives, a lot more than in the other one. Several of these green platforms that they'll make you slide, so you do want to be careful. Now, something else that you do want to be careful of is that if you go through a level once and then you beat it and you do not quit the game before coming back to it, you cannot gain the lives again from the boxes. So some of the boxes that have lives, like the life crates back there on that stack of 2 life crates with life crates with the TNT below it. Those, if you were to beat this level then come back to it, those lives would not be there anymore. So you do want to be careful. You cannot rely solely on levels that you've already played to stockpile lives. Even if you've lost them just by playing the game normally, you would have to leave, quit the game, and then come back to be able to take advantage of those lives, which isn't too bad of a strategy, especially later on in the game. They're not too bad. You can see these spinning platforms do not actually, as long as you hit your head on them and then you spin, you do not actually have to be right beside them to make them spin, which is very useful. I don't know if it's actually supposed to be in the game, or if it's just like a glitch or something. I don't know, but it definitely makes it a lot easier while you are doing those. And the thing is, those timers will, or those spinning platforms will flip back up after a while, so you do want to be careful while you are on them. And now you can see here, this is a kind of a hidden path that will bring you along past all of this stuff, and it will, okay. I swore there was a box back here, but it doesn't really matter. This is another level that we cannot gain all of the boxes on or get all of the boxes on in one go anyway. We have to come back here with a colored gem later on. And you can see the other two islands there. The island with the tree is called Intensity Island. That is the second island, and then the island with the castle that is a little bit farther away that kind of looks with the blimp hanging above it is called Cortex Island. That is the third island that we in the game, and definitely the hardest island. And you can see, they are pretty close. There, in the Great Gate and along the second path, there is a section that life really isn't worth it unless you're really good at timing those flaming platforms. It's not, it's because you can very easily lose a life just trying to gain it, and there's no reason really to do that. But if you go through the Great Gate on the yellow gym path, you will come up to a section similar to this, where you can go up higher and you can see the two islands, but they will be farther away. And that's something pretty cool. There are two levels on Intensity Island where you can see Cortex Island in the background, and it will get closer as you progress through both of those level designs. There will be one level, about the third level, on Intensity Island, and then the second to last level on Intensity Island. It has the same level design where you can see the Cortex Island, and I'll show it off once I get to it. Those levels will be in part 3, but I'll be able to show that off, and it is pretty cool how they added that, where you can see the islands even from far away, in the background like that. Especially the Great Gate, there's a section where if you saw those little kind of peach-colored dots, I guess, which are the gem color for what you need for that level, you can actually get up to where there is nothing in the background, like you can't see the gate, and the background looks very beautiful. The skyline and all that for the Great Gate, that level design and those levels, very beautiful. I'm actually quite surprised that they could have made it so well with the limitations that they had for this game. I mean, this game is, for its time and everything, it's very, very detailed and very beautiful with sections like that, and in those other two levels that are exclusive to Intensity Island. We will see that again as well. I'll be able to show that off. But if you haven't noticed, there will be at least 2 level designs for most levels. You can see here this is the second and last kind of river waterfall based level. Now this is actually a very interesting puzzle here. Before I go off and talk about that, now you have to hit that exclamation box. You have to wait for these lily pads to come back up, and then you want to run across the lily pads again, which will allow you to jump down here. There is nothing underneath the waterfall on those lily pads. I guess that's just something if you want to jump down there instead of coming up here. You can, but all you have to do is just jump on the TNT and then jump on the arrow crate, and you can get back up there pretty easily. This is a little bit of a pain because of the flying fish that jumps out of the water that can mess you up, as well as the blue-leafed Venus flytrap. You do want to be careful. There will be a lot more flying fish in this level that can get in your way and trip you up if you're not careful. So you do definitely want to be careful about that. But for most level designs, like Jungle Rollers had those 2 level designs that are not exactly exclusive to Insanity Island, because you will see another level here on Intensity Island that has that same level design, kind of like Boulders. Boulders shares that same level design, kind of jungle, kind of deep jungle with Jungle Rollers, and then there will be a second Boulders level that shares that design as well. So that level design, the jungle level design, is actually used 4 times, and it is not exclusive to Insanity Island. The only level designs that are exclusive to Insanity Island are Insanity Beach, which you only go to a beach type level once, and then the gate levels. Those are a theme for that level or that island, because it is the most populated island, and the only one that really has people, except for one area here on Intensity Island that is later on in the game that I will show off in part 4, I believe. They will have natives on it that will share the pig riding level, but Cortex Island, which is the third island, has a lot more single level designs in it that you only see on Cortex Island that you don't see anywhere else. Now here's the 5th level, then the second boss, Ripperoo. Now this boss can actually be quite tricky if you're not careful with the pattern. Ripperoo will jump in a pattern along these stone tiles, and you can see the pretty simple pattern here. What you want to do is you want to jump on a TNT and then make it blow up right as he's jumping across by it. You don't want to jump on that. You want to be careful again, with the pattern and all that, because he will miss the time. You do have to really time these, because these are on a 3-second counter, just like their smaller versions. So you really do have to time it just right. And there we go. Now, if you do kill him, he will always land on that middle, the bottom middle tile, so you do want to be very careful about that. If you don't have a mask, you will die, and you will have to restart the boss over again. But if you don't, if you do have a mask, and you do get hit with him, you do run the possibility of getting hit by him, and that will force you to jump, which will then cause you to take, which could cause you to fall into the water, which is very bad, and you want to be very careful about that. But anyway, so that was, like I said, the 5th level, that I'm going to do. So I'm going to talk about some level trivia and all that. Once I get everything set up here. Okay, here we go. So we'll start with Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones is the 7th level of Crash Bandicoot. It is the first level to feature a nitrous brio bonus round. The level is similar in form to Jungle Rollers, following a straight path through the jungle. Number of crates are 46. Bonus rounds are the nitrous brio and the Tana. Enemies are the Rolling Stones, skunks, turtles, and the man-eating plants. Level design: this level is set in the remote jungle of Insanity Island and has exactly the same type of jungle environment as Jungle Rollers, as it is essentially the slightly more difficult version of Jungle Rollers. As the name suggests, it contains a lot more of the Rolling Stone obstacles than the preceding jungle level. A little bit of trivia here. For unknown reasons, Cortex has carved his face. Okay, that's kind of a spoiler. The level's title is a reference to the 1960s rock band the Rolling Stones. It could also be a reference to the magazine Rolling Stone. Alright, so we'll go to Hog Wild next. Hog Wild is the 8th level in Crash Bandicoot. It is the first level in the series in which the player does not directly control Crash. Number of crates, 24. Gym type clear, and enemies are those spiked logs, the pigs on the spits, and the shield-wielding natives, and as well as pits as well. Level design: the level sees Crash riding through a native village on a hog. Along the way, he must avoid spiked pillars, roasted hogs on spits, drums, large pits, and shield-holding natives. At the start of the level, it will see Crash looking at the wild hog, and then Crash looking at the player, suggestively raising his eyebrows, and he will jump on the hog, and the hog will start running. The hog cannot stop or turn around, so the player must break all the boxes in one run to get the gin. The level's environment seems to be a native village, and the level is bounded by houses and huts on both sides. Crash must avoid the spikes, gaps, and native shield holders and can use the drum to bounce over longer gaps. Trivia for this is the first level in the series where the player must ride on an animal. This would be repeated in Crash 2 and Crash 3. In the game Uncharted Drake's Fortune, also made by Naughty Dog, there is a plane called the Hog Wild, which is probably a reference to this level. In the beta version of this game, there is a box placement that makes getting all the boxes impossible, and this is the first level in the entire series where you can ride on an animal. Alright, so we'll go to Native Fortress next. Let me see. Level design. Well, I guess number of crates are 42. Gym type clear. Tana bonus round. Enemies are the. Let me see here. Flames, rolling monkeys, shield natives, spiked poles, turtles, and then the man-eating plants. Alright. Let me see. Level design. The Native Fortress is the final level of the first out of 3 islands in the original Crash Bandicoot, as well as the second and last stage set in Papu Papu's village. This acts as the way out of Papu Papu's stronghold and is considerably harder than the previous native level. Trivia at the Okay, so I guess this island that I'm on right now is actually called Wumpa Island. I could have swore it was called Intensity Island. It was actually called Intensity Island for a while. I guess they must have changed it. Huh. I like Intensity better, so I'm going to go ahead and call it Intensity Island. But anyway, so not too much about Native Fortress actually here on what I'm reading, but we'll see if Intensity Island has anything better. Up the Creek is a level in Crash Bandicoot. Is basically a river that has lily pads on it. It is the first level on the second island. Crash encounters Venus flytraps and other enemies here. Number of crates 15. Gym type clear. Bonus rounds Tana, and then the enemies are the flying fish, rolling monkeys, and then the blue and green Venus flytraps. Trivia: the level title could be a reference to the popular saying "up the creek without a paddle," a reference to the fact that Crash does not yield a paddle in this level. Yeah, a lot of these don't make sense, kind of like with Sonic Generations. Alright, so Ripperoo. This boss fight is held at the top of the waterfall on Intensity Island, and is the second boss fight. It starts with Ripperoo bouncing towards the camera, then it goes down to the 9 squares that are on water. Ripperoo has 3 hit points. Crash then appears on the bottom square, and Ripperoo starts bouncing onto the middle, lower left, and lower right squares. Big TNT crates start falling from the waterfall, and Crash needs to get the TNT crates to blow up. With Ripperoo near them. Once he's blown up, he laughs madly, turning him red, and he'll start bouncing onto the right, middle, left, and bottom squares. After he's hit a second time, he'll bounce onto the top, right, bottom, and left squares. Then after being blown up, I don't know, they've written this weird. Then after being blown up, he laughs, and then he lands on the bottom square and collapses. A good strategy on the boss fight is to jump onto the sides of the area and jump out to activate the TNT crates. See if there's any trivia, and there is no trivia for this, so there you go. But anyway, so that's it. That's all the trivia and all that for this level. So I thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many lily pads were there in Up the Creek. I thank you for watching. We will finish Intensity Island in the next video, so until then, later everyone.